August the 18th, 2025. Guys, I want to give you a quick tropical update. I've been keeping an eye on this thing this afternoon, and you're looking at the current wind location in the center rotation on windy. This is of Hurricane Evan. I've got this set to wind gust, and here, just in the northeast quadrant, we're getting 164 mile per hour gusts. Now, the sustained winds are reported by the hurricane hunters at 140, and of course that's shifting, but they're kind of averaging in there. And this is set at the current time. And right now it is August the 18th, 2025. Guys, you're looking at the updated images of where Hurricane Erin is and some of the conditions around it. I've got this set on wind gust, and I've got it set in the northeast, or the top right corner of rotation. We're getting 164 mile per hour gusts. According to the hurricane hunters, guys, sustained winds are around 140, which is at a Cat 4. And what you're looking at are temperatures near this area, and these are buoys, 84 degrees, and this is from ship 4104. I think it's a ship buoy is what they're saying, and 41046 is the number of the buoy. And the temperature is 84 degrees here. It's going to be going into a little warmer water at 86 there. They're saying now at the current information is 87, but it's from this buoy. Now, something interesting is it's going to get very close to Hatteras, guys, and that's right there. That's the tip of the section there. Hatteras City is right in here, but right here, if you go to this point, right here at the tip, and let's back out, it's gonna cross if it gets this close, and it's gonna put 1 foot at least to the left side of the storm into 90-degree water, and that's the Gulf Stream coming out of the Gulf of America. But it's moving north here. This is wind currents. And there's a lot of wind. I was looking at some of the webcams an hour or so ago along from Myrtle Beach up to Hatteras, and there's wind out there, and they've already, they started at 10 o'clock this morning, I think, guys, evacuating from some of the island areas. Avon, now I don't think all of Hatteras has to be evacuated. One of the weather guys was there, and he was saying it was part of it. But from here, we're only dropping in temperature to 82 degrees over the entire trip. So if it gets into this area here, then you're into warmer water, and that's going to intensify the strength of it. Another interesting point is right now, if you do this on Google Maps, you can measure from, again, the tip of Hatteras, this section of it, the southeast tip, to the center of the storm is around 800 miles. But I was looking at the close approach from the National Hurricane Center as it got up into this area, and it's about 200 miles. That's at the current center, okay? And so if they're already evacuating, and which is a great idea, and you can already see a little bit of higher surf 800 miles away. Some people were surfing up there off of Hatteras. You can see the wind pattern now coming down, and it's moving from offshore. And that's the way the flags are. I zoomed in where I could see the flags there and down in Myrtle Beach, and everything is coming offshore there also. Now, as this thing moves forward, I want to look at 2 or 3 different models. Let me get this set up. Now, I've got this set, guys, for this coming Thursday at 4 a.m. in the morning, and that's not a good time because this is going to be one of the strongest sections of the storm for you guys in the Hatteras area on the Outer Banks, because, again, everything's going to be coming straight at you, and this is a very powerful section of the storm. Now, what the overlay that you're seeing here, and they're showing it slowing down from the 4 it is now till about Wednesday, 1300 would be 1 o'clock in the afternoon, to about a Cat 3, 150 miles per hour. Now, this track is just a little different from the center of circulation. Again, National Hurricane Center. Now, let's look at the European track. It's not going to change where windy is showing the storm, but it's the track from the European model. Now, it's moving over You see that? Let's go back to the National Hurricane Center that we're watching. And then if you go to the European model, it's pretty much what Windy is using also. But now what is interesting is this outside band. This is not the size of the storm. You can see it. It's obvious. It's a good double overlay right here. This is for they're predicting the track going from this edge to this edge. Right now, that's the center of all their spaghetti models. But let's go over to the UK model. And it looks pretty obvious that Windy's using a lot of information from the European model. But again, let's go to the UK model. I just wanted to throw that in. They're saying wind speed 140 right now. It's 27.67 as far as pressure. But the UK model is very interesting. It moves at almost half the distance. In other words, now this would be here, the center, if you average the models from the UKM, that's their meteorological society. But the outer edge here, guys, comes across the islands. That's why we cannot take our guard off. Again, I've got this set for Thursday, 4 a.m. in the morning, okay? So I'm going to do this again. Let's start National Hurricane Center. And it's very close to the European model, which is here, and to the UK model there. Now that's important because they're all pretty accurate models, and no one knows for sure, but everything is trending left. Now guys, it's really important, let me pull this down, to pay attention to what we're talking about right now, because this could occur. And you got, this thing is going to supposedly be slowing down to a Cat 3, maybe a Cat 2 by this point. But you also have, in a hurricane, the forward inertia, the inertial energy that's being pushed forward as a Cat 4. And that's why the surf is up, even up this far. If you go and look at some of the Outer Banks webcams, you can see more people surfing. It's just up a couple feet higher, but it's enough to make a difference. So that is the inertia, but it's going to continue to be very strong as it gets closer. And as it gets to past that point, to right here, Thursday at 1 o'clock, they're saying it's going to be slowing down to a Cat 1. That's a good thing, and pulling out into cooler water. Now, if this is as close as it gets, the Outer Banks, you're going to lose a lot of sand and probably some piers and some housing and stuff like that that's there. And I know it's been hit before, and a couple of bridges and roads have been taken out, and a couple of bridge loops have been put in and everything. But this really is the reason I wanted to do the video right now, was looking at this model. You don't want to be caught off guard. And again, after years of experience of watching these since 1964 with Hurricane Betsy, that ended up flooding the Mississippi River and taking a lot of damage up into the New Orleans area. I was in the 4th grade in Beery, so I'm not going to go there. You've all heard the story. And then 69 in Camille, and then going forward 79 and getting into Katrina and everything else. That it's just something that is embedded in you when you've lived through those type of hurricanes. Anyway, it's a good thing because I really like keeping an eye on it anyway. But what my point is this, now this is, remember, this is the model that's predicted for Thursday. It's only Monday, and everything's drifting to the left. Now, will all the models drift to the left? If so, Virginia Beach, all the way down the coast of North Carolina, getting up into D.C. and Atlantic City, even though it's going to start pulling offshore in this track, you're still going to get raked. Okay, and if it gets any closer to shore, you're going to get hit hard. So anybody in these areas, prepare for flooding, okay? But really, along the beaches of Virginia, in this area, because as it pulls out, it's going to leave a trail behind it through here. So you're going to be getting caught in the Virginia area, in the North Carolina area, from the bottom, top, and as it's leaving, as you're getting the tail end of the system. And so you're going to have a full day and a night, as it really gets hard on you, of this type of weather. So they're talking about the roads along the Outer Banks being closed maybe for a few days. But if you know anybody there that's stubborn and want to stay, just tell them, listen, the weather's changing. We've got a tilt in the planet. Things are changing. And we know by the end of all of the things that that you've read in Revelation, it's not going to end by flood this time, but by fire. That tells us the earth is getting hotter. And so up until that point to where we can no longer bear it, and that's when our Father steps in, because he's not going to let it go past that. But up to that point, these things are going to increase as the heat increases. He's trying to get people's attention. Now, I want to get your attention here. And this looks rough. And remember, each day it has moved left, and we're still out. We got Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday morning at 4 a.m., it's really close to you. So it's really, not as long as you think. Just think about it. Let me pull it up just a little bit closer. Let's look at some of the people that could be if this center, again, moves to this center here. Again, Wendy is following the European model, which is tracking here. But if this moves to here, then you're going to have hurricane force winds coming down from the north. Check that out. And really, it's going to start out like that as far as the really heavy and high winds. But we're watching it, guys. You watch it. There's going to be updates starting early in the morning, the Lord willing. And we're going to go from there with it. But you just think about all these places you're looking at, Columbia, Greenville. Even if the hurricane winds, you're just getting tropical storm winds in these areas, you could have tornadoes. You could have a lot of flooding. And as we get closer to it, we're going to start looking at things like right now, all of this is in the red as far as rip currents. And it says if you put your foot in the water, you're likely to be caught in a rip current and drown. And the level goes up to even experienced swimmers, which that's only probably 5 or 10% of the people that are on the beach during vacation. Kitty Hawk, see that? Virginia Beach, here, Lexington Park, Salisbury, Ocean City, all of it, DC's here. And this is, again, we're not looking at the wind from the European model. We're looking at the tracking from the UK model. So if it tracks any further this way, it's just going to take it longer to turn. But either way, you're going to see flooding, more than likely Virginia Beach, D.C., Atlantic City, Rhode Island, New York, probably, as we've seen before, flooding in the subways, things like that. But each year, in each storm, until that point that we've talked about in Revelation, they're only going to increase in intensity. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.